Hi Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising. This is your April 2017 forecast. So last month I discussed the significance of retrograde Venus, and Venus is still retrograde until the 15th of April. If you want a refresher on that, you can just listen to the beginning of one of my March forecasts. This month Mercury goes retrograde on the 9th of April and stays retrograde until the 3rd of May. So Mercury retrograde is what I want to spend a little time on at the beginning of this forecast. So Mercury retrograde. Mercury is that planet that signifies how we think, learn, communicate, also how we travel, our mode of transport. It can also indicate cars and computers. When Mercury goes retrograde, some things typically happen. There can be missing information or objects, information that we haven't backed up gets wiped out, or there can be mechanical problems with machines, or like I said, things go missing and we can't find them, particularly things like car keys, telephones, that sort of thing. So when Mercury goes retrograde, we see that trickster energy coming out. So Mercury can wreak a bit of havoc with our schedules, with our routines. But Mercury is also the divine messenger, and when Mercury goes retrograde, it tells us where we need to stop, pause, rethink, and reflect in a particular area of our life. So let's look at when Mercury is going to be retrograde for you. So Mercury is retrograde in your 6th house until the 21st of April. So when Mercury is retrograde in the 6th, it's a good time to reorganize your workspace, to tidy things up. So neatness and functionality are very important. It's also important to be flexible in your work affairs, so communications with colleagues can go a bit haywire, so check understanding and comprehension with other people. And like I said, you could anticipate some changes of schedule. Just remember, a routine has its place, but it's the unknown we need to move towards, so be adaptable. This is also a good placement for Mercury to do a health inventory. So it's a good time to do research into new diets and lifestyle changes that you want to make that you can implement when Mercury goes direct. So from the 21st, Mercury will retrograde into your 5th house. So with Mercury in the 5th, we can sometimes find ourselves a little bit stuck creatively. There can be a bit of a crisis of self-confidence or esteem. So it's an important time to seek out inspiration. So whatever works for you, go to the beach, go to the park, go to an exhibit, go to a concert, or try out a new hobby or a new skill. So try and inject freshness, passion, and excitement into, these sorts of affairs. So rekindle things, make an artist day. Like Venus retrograde, Mercury retrograde in the 5th house can sometimes show a return of old love interests, or an old flame can lick you up. But Mercury retrograde in the 5th is also a good placement for rekindling romance in an existing relationship. So exploring new avenues creatively, communicatively, so having lots of conversations. It's also a good time to try something new. So have fun with your nearest and dearest. So maybe it's time to schedule a course together, like a cooking course or something like that. So let's look at the placement of the other planets this month. Until the 20th, the Sun is going to be in your 5th house. And this is the house of creative self-expression. It's also romance, fun, and personal business. So here with the Sun in the 5th, we're more inclined to take risks, both in terms of how we express ourselves, also financial risks and romantic risks. So you can really put yourself out on a limb with this one. So the focus is on recreation, passions, and fun. So, this can express itself through hobbies, through time with children, through any kind of fun activity. So here you really want to focus on what makes you feel excited and alive. So from the 20th, the Sun moves into your 6th house, and this is the house of work and health. So here it's about duties and obligations, so a very different flavor to having the Sun in the 5th house. So this is where we take pride in our work, we make sure we're offering a good service, we're building our kind of professional skills, we're getting organized around work and health. So here, it's also where you want to get rid of what doesn't work and make improvements to your routine. So your self-esteem and ego are really tied up in the work that you do. So it's all about efficiency there, building up skills, and with regards to health, it's a very good time for breaking bad habits. So Venus is going to be retrograde until the 15th of April and stays in your 4th house for most of the month. So Venus in the 4th, it's all about peaceful, relaxing, and leisurely times at home. Venus in the 4th is also very focused on redecorating because Venus is very aesthetic, so you want to make things luxurious and comfortable around the home. Venus here can tend to do things a bit lavishly, not always thinking too practically. So like I said, it's all about comfort and leisure at home. So here, with Venus in the 4th, we can sometimes overload the gut with too many sweet or rich foods. And Venus also favors very close and warm interactions with family. So very good placement for connecting with family and, expressing affection and warmth with family members. So Mars is going to be in your 6th house until the 21st. And Mars is very productive in the 6th house. It's able to tackle a lot of work, get a lot of things done. Mars in the 6th can sometimes feel a little bit underappreciated, like you're not getting enough credit for what you do. It wants to take initiative, but perhaps doesn't have the scope to do so. This, of course, isn't a problem if you're self-employed. But here, with Mars in the 6th house, you're able to tackle a lot of work and get it done. So, find something to do and really get stuck into it, and you'll be able to deal with those frustrated ego energies. And also siphon off some of that energy into physical exercise at this time. So from the 21st, Mars moves into your 7th house, and Mars in the 7th can sometimes show conflicts and partnerships, with nearest and dearest, with, those people closest to us, but also business partners. So this is the time when you want to air grievances and work things out constructively, because this is the house of partnership and teamwork. So although Mars here can sometimes show acrimony, conflicts, disputes, the energy can be best utilized by working things out productively and constructively within the context of the partnership. So let's look at the aspects this month. On the 5th of April, we've got Mars trining Pluto from your 6th to your 2nd house. So this is a very creative and energetic aspect. It makes us feel courageous, self-assertive. We're able to tackle our goals and ambitions very constructively, particularly with Mars in the 6th house. This should give you a lot of sustained energy to get a lot of work done. On the 8th, we've got Venus squaring Saturn from the 4th to the 1st house. And Venus and Saturn in difficult aspect can sometimes show inhibited or repressed emotional energies. So there can be some dejection due to isolation or perhaps advances being rejected. So your own affections can also be a little bit chilled. So somebody can let you down. And with Venus in the 4th house, it could be a family member or an older person with Saturn, so feeling a little bit let down, feeling a little bit isolated. So time to back up and reassess. On the 9th, we've got the Sun squaring Pluto from your 5th to your 2nd house. And this can show up as power struggles and ego conflicts. So the Sun and Pluto can really clash horns, so you can encounter people on an ego trip, or you can be the one on an ego trip. So just watch out. On the 11th, we've got the full moon in Libra in your 11th house. And this is the house of friends, group activities, goals and objectives. So sometimes at this time, there can be a social encounter. So you can have an invitation to a social event, or a friend could call upon you for some assistance. You could be called upon to do a charitable or a humane gesture or act or service. So goals and objectives really fired up here. So and things with friends or groups can reach a boiling point. On the 14th, we've got the Sun conjunct Uranus in your 5th house. And this is a very good placement and energy for trying something different, breaking out of the mold of routine, finding fresh solutions. It's very good for progressive thinking and ideas. So this can be good for changes regarding circumstances, chance travel, new contacts and new experiences. And for you, this can really put the fire in the creative avenues. So very good for firing up creative juices. On the 17th, we've got the Sun trining Saturn from your 5th to your 1st house. And the Sun and Saturn in harmonious aspect can show serious concerns and subjects. It's good for disciplined study. It gives you patience and endurance. You can tackle responsibilities and duties very effectively. So really able to put your shoulder to the wheel and, get things done. It can also sometimes show assistance from older or respected people. On the 24th, we've got Mercury now trining Saturn. And again, Mercury and Saturn, good for serious subjects, good for attention to detail. It's good for tedious rather than inspired work. So this is a good energy for getting budgets done or anything that you usually find boring. You'll have the wherewithal to tackle it. Sometimes it can also show travel for a serious purpose or the need to speak and study to advance your career. On the 26th, we've got the new moon in Taurus in your 6th house, and this is the house of health and work. So this is a very good placement for the next 2 weeks in terms of implementing new diet or health routines, so making lifestyle changes, very fruitful under this. This is also a very good placement for the next 2 weeks, active energy with regards to getting work done, to being efficient, to being functional, focusing on offering a good service. This also has sharpens your critical faculties, so this is a very good placement for getting organized and being more efficient, generally speaking. So the month ends with Mercury conjunct Uranus in your 5th house, and Mercury and Uranus, there can always be some unexpected developments, but it also can show good news, sudden insights, exciting news, so unexpected travel or opportunities for publicity or self-promotion. So Mercury and Uranus, sometimes when they come together, can also show, problems with machinery or equipment, so cars and computers. So just be prepared to be flexible and adaptable under this influence. If you've enjoyed this forecast, please like and subscribe. And if you'd like a personal reading, you can visit my website on www.psyche.co.za to book a consultation. Thanks again.